Y'all, something is in the air. It might possibly be in the water. Who knows? But we've had a lot of drama so far in 2024. A lot of disgusting drama, if that. We've had Alice, who spoke out about I'm Alex, and he got exposed for being a piece of shit. Then we had Kirst, who came out and spoke out about iNabbers. iNabbers did clap back with that, though, an 81-page Google Doc file and cleared his name. And then we had the Dr. Disrespect allegations that came out, and that was absolutely horrid, where he got exposed for texting minors while he was on Twitch. And then we have new drama, and y'all, this one is a little bit chaotic because it's about Tana Mongeau and her claims of her experiences with Cody Ko when she was a minor as well. She was saying that she was 17 at the time when he hooked up with her, and he was 25. For those of you who are unfamiliar with who either of these people are, Cody Ko used to be one of the largest Vine creators until that app kind of depleted, and he transitioned over to YouTube and started doing commentary content. Tana Mongeau, she did YouTube for a large majority, and she's still on YouTube. She started off for almost a decade doing storytime videos and content such as that sort. Then she went on to having her own MTV show, Now Show. And this clip went viral.
City I've been to?
Least favorite.
Least favorite city I've been to on tour. New Orleans, Louisiana. I hate that place.
Who's the most famous person you've ever had sex with?
Oh my god. Like maybe Tyga.
What's your least favorite brand you've ever worked with?
Least favorite brand I've ever worked with. One time we sold out for an apartment in New York. Like the rent was paid on the apartment in New York for a Juul charger that charges your Juul from your phone. Like it was sounds brilliant. No, it was definitely breaking iPhones everywhere, and I shouldn't have done it.
I stayed in this.
Who's the smallest dick you've ever had sex with?
Oh my god, do no one look at me, Cody Ko.
This is the clip that went viral of Tana talking about that hookup with Cody Ko, and she said, yeah, I was 17 at the time. He was 25. But then she ended up going on Trisha Paytas's podcast on the 20th of June this month, and she talked about it a little bit more, but back in 2021, y'all. On the 17th episode of her canceled podcast, she ended up going into detail with her friends about some of the people, larger people in the industry who's taken advantage of her, and this is the first time she brought up Cody Ko.
Right? That's not correct. I know now. I was 17 at the time, 18. Like, that's not what you do. But at the time, it was just like, oh, you think I'm this and you're treating me and calling me all these names and treating me really horribly and like using me for a lot of money. And like,
if you're going to say I'm cheating, okay, I'm going to cheat.
And it's like, if you're using me for mad money and making me buy hella shit for you and like, you know, forcing me to fly out to you just to be like super emotionally and like psychotically abusive, like, okay, bet. And so I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen, shout out Cody Ko.
Don't.
Oh, Jesus
And
Christ.
delete both of those?
She's like,
it was fun.
Kelsey just had a siege.
Now, back in 2021, this is when these allegations started to make their rounds around the internet, with somebody saying Tana Mongeau shouts out Cody Ko, implying that the two had slept together when she was 17, 18, and he was 25 at 26. Now, after that circulation went viral originally of her talking about this on the canceled live show, she ended up going on Trisha Paytas's podcast on the 20th, as I said, of this month, and she went into a little bit more detail about the experience, confirmed that it did indeed say that even though she doesn't necessarily feel like a victim of that moment, if it happened to a family member that was 17 at the time going and sleeping with somebody who was 25, 26, she said it would affect her and she would never let it fly.
That's what I was talking about yesterday, as I was like, well, it's I have like so many thoughts on this whole situation, you know what I mean? And I was first talking about like trauma, and I don't know if you do this. I wonder if you relate to this, but like there's a lot of things I look back on that I think would maybe traumatize the average person more, but you've been through things that are so much more detrimental that you can kind of look back at these things and they don't really feel traumatizing. Mm-hmm. Like, and that was kind of the situation I was in and like my perspective on it. But then I was like, but at the same time, like if I had a 17-year-old daughter or a little sister or something, like I would kill.
Yeah.
You know, so then it's like
same, yeah.
It's hard in that regard. But the thing that was actually really heartbreaking to me and kind of crazy to me is after it started going viral, like seeing so many people like not believing me and being like, it's Tana, so who cares? It's this. And then I just started to feel bad for so many other girls who maybe look up to me and want to speak their truth and then see the way people like just don't believe people and it's like I've never really I've always had people not believe like things, but I don't know why this one just like hits different.
I personally think that's awful that because she's Tana Mongeau and there is a stigma around her, she's a controversial person. It is such a shame that people are just brushing this incident off. But she did go on her podcast, Canceled, with her co-host, and talked about the situation a little bit more in depth.
We were on tour. We were saying a bunch of on stage in a bunch of different games, and we thought we could trust the people as we had the whole tour, because it really was like at every other show we were saying the craziest about people, and it wasn't being brought to light. And however, I understand that this isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime.
Yeah.
And I've tried to talk about this a million times and I feel like I never have the right words. But it's everywhere all over the internet. And I know people want me to talk about it. And I'm going to do my best right now, you know? I mean, I hooked up with Cody Ko when I was 17 and he was 25. Yeah, it happened. And I think that, first of all, it's really, I'm trying to think about it from a perspective of like a younger sister or someone that I really care about. Even the other day, like I was texting just about her life and everything that's going on in her life right now. And I thought to myself, like, how protective I was over her, especially before she was 18. And if something like that was happening to her, I would never let it fly. Well, you know what I mean? To be 100% truthful, when I look back at the Cody situation, I definitely am like, why was he doing that? You know what I mean? And there were so many situations. There was a situation with Gabby Hanna at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up. And I can look at that and be like, like,
what the
why the fuck were you doing that? But there isn't a part of me, at least at 25 now. I mean, I look back and I would never do anything like that. So I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I don't associate or hold it with trauma because I am such a comparative person where I'm like, so many worse things have happened to me. And that's bad.
I was just about to say, you can't do that to yourself though.
But I genuinely feel that way. Like it feels like all of the other people I hooked up with when I was 18, whether they were 30 or whether they were not 30 and they were my age and they were whatever. Like I was just in a place of life, especially the circles and world I was surrounded in Vegas and then coming to LA. Like those are, if you're in the wrong realms, those can be very sexual places.
Yeah.
And like I was just hooking up with people and having so much fun. And like, that's the way my mind, because I grew up loving him. And I think you know what I mean? Like I was just like excited and a fan and like, and I understand that that's where now as a grown adult, you can say you were taken advantage of, but like, I don't feel any of those emotions towards it. So that's why it's like, it's much easier to be like, go crucify someone when you feel those emotions.
Of course.
You know?
It only took 2 days after she spoke about this on her podcast for it to hit mainstream news when the Rolling Stones posted an article that said Tana Mongeau opens up about alleged underage hookup with YouTuber Cody Ko. And it's time for him to address these allegations and come forward with his own statement somewhere, y'all, because people are saying he's very well aware of the situation, saying Cody Ko's mods/team are deleting/filtering/banning any comments or users mentioning his allegations. I'm really curious to see if this is going to be like an I'm Alex situation and he just goes without responding, because Alex still hasn't responded to his initial allegations. And neither has Cody Ko, even though his team/mods are taking action on Reddit threads who are discussing it. Just to throw more fuel to the fire as well, y'all, he's going to have another situation to address when he does end up coming out, if he ever does address his Tana Mongeau situation, because his friend did get exposed recently in a lawsuit for some pretty serious things that he had done to a woman while he was in college at Duke University back in 2011. Now, there is a Twitter post that it says here, Colby Leachman, Cody's fraternity brother at Duke. Cody was friends with him when this happened and posted them on his YouTube channel after it happened. The Insta post is of him and Colby from this year. An article from February 11th in 2019 says judge dismisses a lawsuit against Duke stemming from assault allegation. And here, this lawsuit really releases a lot of wicked information that Leachman had done while he was at this university, and it says the former student sues Duke, claiming that the university violated her rights under the federal title law. She claimed that she was by 2 students in 2011 and that one of them videotaped her being assaulted. KMI contended the university was deliberately indifferent and negligent in its response, ultimately leading her to transfer to another school. It continues to say that in 2012, she told Brian she wanted to initiate a disciplinary case, the court document said, but it wasn't until 2013 when she submitted a written statement describing non-consensual contact and unauthorized recording. Duke's Office of Student Conduct initiated disciplinary proceedings against the men and hired a clinical psychologist to investigate. It continues to say a disciplinary panel unanimously found that there was not a preponderance of evidence that the men had violated Duke's misconduct policies. Leachman entered a plea of responsibility that he violated Duke's policy with regard to unauthorized surveillance and photography. He was placed on probation. Now, that is currently another drama circulating around Cody Ko right now, and it kind of ties into the Tana situation just a tiny bit because it just goes to show the negligence of his actions and decision making, allowing somebody like that to be in his wedding and partake. And there are also 2 videos that Tana had posted on her YouTube channel 7 and 8 years ago featuring Cody around 2016, and these are the times that these allegations allegedly happened. With that being said, it's absolutely bizarre everything that's been coming out about all these large YouTubers